And welcome once again to another episode of S2E5 Productions presents
J&M Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt. And with us once again is our very special guest, Andrew.
Hello. Wait for it. The crickets. I'm thinking that's my, calling card. Exactly. Woohoo!
If you were a professional wrestler, you would have to come out to crickets. That would be your theme music.
Okay.
Yep.
Talk me into it.
For once, I actually have to lower your volume.
Well, it's because he's had a couple cocktails because we were watching comedy shows.
And not just that, but his microphone is the exact way that it's supposed to be.
There you go.
Oh, well.
So you're talking into the side, not into the bulbous head.
Did you give it a little Viagra to get it to stand up?
Cialis.
Cialis? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Or Hims.
So what you're saying is I don't need to move it?
Correct.
You're good.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Well.
like a child, I'll smack your hand and tell you no. No.
Oh, please.
No.
Smack me. I'll probably need it. Or
Of course, nowadays you get a call from social services for smacking a hand.
Or just draw back and punch me in the face. I probably need that too.
I no.
Well,
I'm not gonna-
I'm just,
okay.
I'm being a smart ass whenever I say that.
As of this recording,
Okay.
the playoff, the
AFC, NFC championship games
yes,
are tomorrow.
Now, with our predictions at the beginning of the season, you still have a team in the hunt,
Right?
and I still have a team in the hunt.
Yep.
But the teams that we have in the hunt, we did not choose to win.
This is true.
Yes.
This is true.
James said it would be the Rams and Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And I said Vegas and San Francisco. Vegas is watching the playoffs just like myself. And,
Just like the Rams.
And the Rams. But when it comes to the Super Bowl, we're not going to name teams because, well, obviously we can't choose a fucking winner for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, NFC or AFC?
I tell you what, these four teams that are in the championships I think that both games are going to be really good games. Mm-hmm. I think these four teams are real close. I mean, any one of them can make it in there and win, but of course, the Chiefs Nation around here is going to be
Chiefs Kingdom.
Kingdom. I'm sorry.
Yes. Raider Nation.
Raider Nation. The Chiefs Kingdom around here is going to be pissed at me, but I think it's going to be an NFC team to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. Andy?
I have no idea.
NFC or AFC?
AFC. Bear with me.
Okay.
NFC. I have no idea. I don't know the difference.
Well, the two teams in the AFC that are
That's
playing,
me.
the two teams in the
That's me.
AFC that are playing tomorrow are Kansas City and Cincinnati.
Okay.
The two teams in the NFC are San Francisco and Philadelphia.
And the Eagles.
Right.
Okay.
So, of those four teams, who do you think is going to win it all?
Ooh.
Now, I'm only asking for division. Which
Which division? You got AFC with Kansas City, Cincinnati, NFC with Philadelphia and
San Francisco.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Because Andy really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No, I really don't. But I'm a person that roots for team that is in Missouri.
Okay.
Now, if they win, that's fine. If not, well.
So you're saying AFC just to make a pick.
AFC for
Okay.
for this
for the podcast.
Yeah, for
Okay.
the podcast. I hope Kansas City wins, but yeah, if it happens, I'm
Now-
good. If not, they
This-
didn't.
This will upset a lot of Chiefs Kingdom people and a lot of other people, for that matter. But I am going AFC. I have rooted for the AFC since 1986 when I decided that the Los Angeles Raiders were going to be my team. Since then, I have rooted for the AFC. I'm sorry, except the 1991 Super Bowl when it was the Washington team versus the Bills, when the Bills went on that 4-year in a row losing streak, and Washington was the Cinderella story.
First black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And that was the only time I rooted for the NFC in the Super Bowl. But it's, for me, AFC all the way. And there you have it. NFC, AFC, AFC.
As we sit here right now, I wouldn't bet over $10 on who's gonna win it all.
Now, my daughter told me about a guy, I guess like back in 2007, predicted the Super Bowls for like an ungodly amount of years. And since 2015, he has been correct.
Well,
So,
okay.
On teams or just AFC, NFC?
no, teams.
Really?
Yes. And according to this guy, because he predicted Kansas City, he predicted Tampa Bay, he predicted all the teams
The Rams last year. And
2015 on. He's predicted. This person has predicted Philly to win it.
Well,
yeah. I mean, best record in football.
Yeah.
The AFC game, even if Mahomes was 100% healthy, I would still be really worried about that game.
right.
I just saw a headline where it said Kelsey is questionable.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that makes it even scarier.
Questionable.
But that could be a ploy, a tactic, if you will.
Misinformation?
Ooh, see how they are. Oh,
You can't see me.
Fake news?
misinformation.
I did see it on CNN.
Misinformation.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Or Fox. Was it Fox or CNN? It could have been on both.
For the 45th president, it was everybody but Fox News. For the 46th president, I think it's been about everybody, but I mean this guy. Anyways, we're not going to get political on it. Tonight's topic was brought up by yours truly when I got down here last night. Do you remember what topic you said?
Yeah, mystical creatures.
Yes.
Are they real?
Inquiring minds want to know.
And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it'd be like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, Yeti.
The Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Not the hockey team.
Yeah. They're mythical sometimes.
Hey.
Whether they're even a team. Sorry, Jersey. I was just kidding. Not really, but yeah.
Yeah. So, God, I know it's not the Spooter.
Sapruders.
Yeah, I know it's
Zapruder
not that
video.
one.
Yeah.
Because that's
that's
the Kennedy one.
We can get into conspiracy theories.
Later. But there's that photo, or it was like
I can't remember the name of it because Joe Rogan does a bit about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's clearly a fake. It's a guy in a fucking monkey suit.
Right. At a distance.
At a distance. It's like, oh no, the angle the way he walks. No. He was wearing his big rubber fucking feet trying to walk in uneven terrain. Yeah, that's why he was leaning forward that way. You know? the Bigfoot thing, I would love to believe there's a Bigfoot. Sasquatch. I mean, there's so many names.
Goody Google.
It's all over the world. I mean,
Chewbacca.
They've talked about it in, there's ancient Native American history that's talked about, a Bigfoot type creature. The Yeti over in Asia.
Yeah. Tibet.
Tibet, yes. In all these places. And there was an actual creature that lived some 20,000 years ago. It was a giant. I'm going to screw this way up, but you can search it. Gigantopithecus or something like that, but it was like a 7, 8, 9 foot humanoid, but it wasn't human.
Right.
Creature that lived a long fucking time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been talked about for centuries, and people are still seeing them.
Right.
The thing that I think debunks the whole thing is every hunter out there has trail cams up.
Right.
There has not been one on a trail cam yet. Not that I know of, anyway. Maybe somebody seen it on the trail cam and said, "Fuck, we can't tell nobody because they'll think we're crazy. They'll come bust our meth lab."
Well, but at the same time, I mean, there's been quote unquote trail cam footage of a chupacabra.
I was listening to Rogan the other day, and they were talking about the chupacabra, and basically what that has turned out to be is a coyote that is riddled in fucking mange and got these big sores on their head and stuff because some people have brought them in. So, this got ran over on the highway and stuff. Oh, it's a chupacabra. No, it's a fucking coyote.
Yeah.
It's just really fucked up, Does it look like it can suck the blood out of all your livestock? Yes, it does, because people don't realize the canines of a dog type animal until their lips are all receded and those canines are. I mean, yeah, it's a nasty looking motherfucker.
Oh God, there's a. Speaking of which, there's a series, because obviously you're about to do a deep dive into Netflix now.
Oh yeah.
But there's a series, and I cannot, for the life of me, I can't think of it right now. But these kids were experimented on, unbeknownst to their parents, and they were given this drug to suppress this superpower. One of them, she was like a banshee, and she ran out of the drug. And she sang in a punk band. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, she was singing and, like, all the glass just busted. Mm. This kid, he was a Hispanic kid. He turned into a chupacabra. And he was exactly the way... Think of a lichen from the underworld. I mean, it's a show.
Oh, okay.
But think of a lichen from the underworld. Mm-hmm. Right. Like that. Real.
I thought you were talking about it as a documentary on these real people.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's just a show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One girl, kind of like poison ivy, to where, like, her pheromones will have you falling in love with her, and you do anything for her. And, these guys, they don't understand what's going on.
Right.
And it's just like this girl is an Indian girl from her family's from India. She's at college, and then all of a sudden everybody's just like falling all over her, doing whatever she wants, chasing her down, and it's like, what the fuck?
She gave good head.
I mean, that was never said in the show.
And then there's that,
She gave good something.
Yeah. There was a movie years ago. I can't remember the name of it. It was back in the 70s. It was about the guys that worked the high steel in the big cities and everything.
Okay.
And most of them were Native Americans. Mm-hmm. But they were like shapeshifters.
Ah, yes.
Yes,
Well, okay. There's talks of gremlins.
right.
I mean, how many motorcycles do you see with a little bell to keep the highway gremlins away?
Keep the highway gremlins away, exactly.
I've got one that was given to me, and of course, that's
You can't buy your bell.
exactly.
Right.
This one is the end casing of a 50 cal with a 5.56 projectile as the actual piece in the middle that hits
Rings
the
it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude.
it's badass,
Yeah.
and it's loud too.
Right.
I've had people roll up next to me, even with my exhaust, and they're like, "Dude, that is a badass bell." I'm like, "Thanks, bro."
It was a gift from a friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The one I had before that, my ex bought for me. Longtime fiance that I had, and we were at it was Blue Springs Harley Davidson at the time, but now it's Outlaw Harley Davidson. And she bought the bell for me, and I'm like, sweet. But yeah, I've bought several bells for other people.
Right.
But yeah, I've never bought my own. I mean, and that's that superstition
That's
thing.
superstition, yeah.
And you're keeping away those highway gremlins. My dad talked about highway gremlins when he drove over the road, and I forget what.
The one you never want to see when you're driving over the road is the black dog.
Yeah. I'd buy that.
Remember that movie with Patrick Swayze? Where he seen the black dog and ended up in a wreck that killed a whole family and shit, and lost his license and everything, and then, oh goddamn, Meatloaf was the bad guy truck owner dude that said, "Hey, you need to haul this. You need to haul this load for me, and we'll pay off your debt."
Yeah, but
Are you telling me that Meatloaf, Eddie from Rocky Horror Picture Show, Jack Black's dad from Pick of Destiny, played a bad guy?
In several movies. And he does it well.
But yet he's from what I heard, of course, before he passed, he was one of the nicest dudes. And I mean, you look at like the videos, and it's like, I still to this day, not to really get off topic, but still to this day, I never understood how Meatloaf was considered like hard rock.
Maybe in the 70s. I don't.
The only thing I can think of is people looked at the album covers.
Right.
Or the name of the album, and it's like, oh my god,
Bad out of hell. Oh my god. Yeah.
But if you look at the videos, he's got the big ruffled shirt and the vest,
blouses, and
yeah, and it's like,
it's a wonder he didn't die back in the 70s.
yeah,
Because there was times he would just pass out on the side of the stage after the show, and everybody'd step over and go, "Good show, meat."
yeah.
And he was about 350 pounds.
And it's crazy to think who his son-in-law was, or
Just
is. Scott Ian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Scott's wife Pearl.
Right.
Meatloaf's daughter.
Right.
I mean,
Speaking of mythical creatures,
the Minotaur was talked about in ancient Greek times.
right? I don't think they've been. Has anybody claimed they have seen one in recent, in the last 100 years?
No.
Yeah.
No. But has anybody seen any of the gladiator tournaments in the Colosseum?
No. When you go back to that, it'd be like the Cyclops or anything. But what I was thinking about is stuff people are claiming to see today. Like the Loch Ness Monster.
Okay.
There's that famous photo.
Yeah.
There's like the 3 humps and then something sticking out.
Yep.
And somebody just spelled that one as it was a circus performer, and he had his elephant down there by the lock, and it went in to cool off or whatever. And that was its tail and part of its back, and then its trunk sticking out of the water. Now, with anything sea creature wise, I would say I bet it's all fucking real.
Oh yeah.
Because the ocean covers 3/4 of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
We have explored about 5% of it. You don't know what the fuck is down there.
I'll take it a step further. Right here in the great state of Missouri, down the road that way.
South?
Yeah.
Okay.
South, but it was found from our location, like northeast, and it's in an aquarium at Bass Pro Shop in Springfield, a 6-foot long fucking big mouth bass.
I did not know that.
Oh,
I guess I haven't been there for a while. I haven't seen the 6-foot long big mouth bass.
oh, there's fucking 6-foot long freshwater fish
Right.
that were found at
Right.
the base of Bagnell Dam.
Right. Well, I heard years ago at the base of Palm de Terre Dam, and I've heard about every other dam, that divers would go down and they come back up and say, we ain't going back down there. Because there's catfish down there big enough to swallow a man.
Right. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not a big mouth bass.
Catfish.
Catfish.
Yeah, I was going to say, big mouth bass, I think the record's like 18 pounds, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But no, yeah, catfish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Have you seen that fucking snapping turtle that's up there at Bass Pro Shops?
yeah,
The motherfucker's bigger than this table.
yeah.
I'm sitting there looking at him, and he's in with the alligator gar. That gar is fucking huge. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's 6-7 feet anyway.
Right.
And I'm like going, where's this fucking snapping turtle at? And all of a sudden, this fucking huge rock moved. Went up to the surface and got some air, and then just kind of eased back down. But he was clean. The ones that I see around here are the ones that come out of the ponds and stuff. They're all covered in shit and leeches and just a nasty fucking turtle. But they spend their days sitting on the bottom with their mouth open and their little tongue swiggling around, looking like a worm. And the fish goes, ooh, food. Nope.
Well, I mean, that was like when D. White and Rome and Kim were here, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to take you down to, we're going to go to Springfield, and I'm going to take you to Bass Pro.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we got Bass Pro back home. And I'm like, bro, not like this, man. This
No,
is
you don't have the original.
Yeah, this is the Bass Pro. This
Right.
is home Bass
Right.
Pro. And yeah, he was like, holy shit, this is fucking huge.
I was telling a guy on our cruise, I can't remember, he was from Memphis or somewhere in Tennessee or something, but he had a thick accent. Looked normal guy, but he had a real thick accent. And I was telling him, I was like, you ever make it to Springfield, Missouri? And he's like, yeah, I've been there a couple times on business, you know. I said, you ever been to Bass Pro? He goes, what's to do in Springfield? I said, well, we got the Springfield Cardinals, you know, during the summer when baseball's going on. I said, and of course, we got Missouri State basketball, blah, 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 all this shit. I said, but you ever been to Bass Pro? He's like, no, I've never been there. I'm like, well, next time you're in Springfield, plan a day to go to Bass Pro Shops. He goes, a day? I'm like, yeah. Especially if you go to the Wonders of Wildlife and the whole 9 yards. I said, plan a day. He's like, no shit. He said, well, we got one at home, but he said, a day? I'm like, yes, plan a day.
Yeah.
I said, because they got the firearms museum and all that other stuff. I said, plan a day.
And what people don't understand, because Memphis, their Bass Pro is in a fucking glass pyramid. Mm-hmm. And it is big and it is impressive. But it's not.
It is.
They don't have the first Bass Pro Shop.
Right,
They don't have the.
Like I said,
have the
they don't
original.
have They don't have the wonders of wildlife. And I don't know if they got a. I said, you go to the gun museum, and I said, you can spend a half a day in there. Mm-hmm. Look at Teddy Roosevelt's fucking elephant gun, and all these different weapons from the past and everything.
Now, Cabela's that used to be out by the Speedway in Kansas City, out by the Kansas Speedway, they had Wyatt Earp's Peacemakers. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool.
That's shit cool, too.
Yeah. But yeah,
45
I mean,
long Colts.
Oh God. And yeah. But anyways, so mythical creatures. I always loved reading about the griffins. They were weird.
Yeah.
Head of an eagle, wings of an eagle,
Right.
body of a lion.
Right. Because you got unicorns.
Now, fun fact, there are unicorns. They're just fat and gray, and they live in Africa. We call them rhinos.
Well, there you go.
Single horn.
Okay.
But that horn's not a bone, it's hair.
Well, tomato, potato. Okay?
And some of them have two. They got the big one, then they got a little.
Yep. And some of them have.
Could you imagine, ancient explorers the first time they seen an ostrich?
That's a big fucking chicken.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh shit.
Or the first time they landed in Australia and seen kangaroos.
Oh fuck.
Or how about the first person to actually see a dodo bird?
Mm-hmm. Or a platypus.
A platypus
What the
lets you
fuck?
know that
it's a. You know that God smoked up. It was at the end of the day. He'd fired up a dude, but he's like, "I got. Hey, hang on. I got. So, here, G, come on. We're gonna take a duck's bill and put it on a beaver
with duck feet,
Yeah,
4 web feet, a beaver body with a duck's bill. Man, that'll be awesome.
and the rest of the angels are going, okay, G, you be you, man.
Okay, man.
That's on you.
So we can make it work, man.
Then I'm only going to keep it on an island. I saw.
Did you hear that they are basically doing Jurassic Park? Scientists are recreating woolly mammoths. They're using DNA from the African elephant and woolly mammoth fossils and stuff, and they're recreating the woolly mammoth. I mean, this is actually going on as we speak, because it's something about the whole global warming thing and everything. How when they got killed off, that's when shit started going south. As far as up, because the woolly mammoth actually went from Alaska across Canada, across Siberia, all that.
Yeah.
That they're thinking about reintroducing them to where they're not going to make all of them. They're going to make a few,
Right.
so they can breed and come back. Heard that on Rogan's podcast.
Okay.
I can't remember the guy's name that's talking about that, but it's like, oh, they're actually doing that? And Rogan's like, well, are they going to do a saber-toothed tiger? The guy's like, I don't know, that'd be cool as fuck. Unless you encounter one when you're out elk hunting.
Yeah. Now, I saw an article. There's a creature in the ocean, believe it or not, that's eating great white sharks.
What, the megalodon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They have had several carcasses wash up on shores, and there's been like big ass fucking like majority of the body is gone of a great white.
It'd be killer whales, could it? Those killer whale size wise.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
The orcas are, I mean, they are a predator of the great white, but
I don't know if they're a predator of the great white or not, but they're a predator of seals. That's how they got their name when they first discovered them. They were like, because they're kind of like cats. They like to play with their food. And they'd see them throwing seals out of the water and bashing them against fucking glaciers and shit, you know. It's like, they're going, that's a killer whale. We can't hunt that motherfucker. He'll kill us.
yeah.
And just ask Bo Derek and fucking Orca. Bit her fucking leg clean off.
Yeah, but I mean, you got
I'd bite her leg clean off too, but I'd start it where they beat.
yeah.
Especially back in the 70s.
Yeah. But I mean, you've got free wee free wee.
I think the funniest thing that ever happens when that orca killed that fucking trainer down in SeaWorld. It's like, it's a fucking killer whale. What do you expect?
That's like,
I mean, it wasn't funny to his family. I'm sorry, I'll retract that. But irony, it's a fucking killer whale.
that's like everybody up in arms over Steve Irwin dying. He was stung by a stingray.
He should have died by a snake bite or a crocodile eating his ass.
Yeah.
Because he was always doing stupid shit with fucking poisonous snakes, non-poisonous snakes on the side of a goddamn mountain, or crocodiles.
Crikeys. Look at the size of that croc. Watch as I sneak up behind it and stick my thumb in its bum.
South Park.
Right.
So what mythical creatures have you seen or heard of, or have you seen anything weird out in the woods?
No.
No? You don't go out in the woods, though, do you?
No.
Andy goes, the most woods I go in is a hairy bush.
Brum, boom, tss.
You've probably seen some creatures in there, but they're these little white ones that look like crabs.
Yeah.
Those are not mythical, by the way. They're getting to be so more so now because pubic hair is going away.
Damn. You know what? I think
Andy, needs to pour us another shot? Or are you going to pour us another shot?
I'll pour us another shot. You want another shot, Andy?
Yeah. Okay.
He's like, I'm trying to stay awake as it is, sure. Now, these people are not a sponsor of ours, but I have to do a shout out to Carl's Package in Buffalo, Missouri, where we pick up this delightful tequila. It's the only place that we've been able to find it around Southwest Missouri or the Kansas City area. Thank you for stocking that for us because it is our tequila of choice.
Yes.
We won't give their name. We've gave it on other podcasts, so if you want to find out what tequila it is, you'll have to go back and listen
Yes.
because we do give its name.
And the bottle is a rounded bottle, and the bottom has like agave leaves coming up around it.
Right.
And if said company would want to sponsor us, we would say their name and have the bottle sitting right there.
There you go.
Right there.
Right there. On screen every time.
Yes. But until then, we will just do this.
Salud.
Salud.
They're just going to hit me again.
Nope. He did the. I'm gonna hold. Let's see what the river says.
Yep. Turn comes. Shit. Folded.
So
anyway,
yeah.
not believe these mystical creatures. Like I say, the Loch Ness Monster, I'm like, yeah, probably not. But anything coming from the ocean, I wouldn't be surprised by what they find next. I mean, we didn't know about the giant squid till the 50s or something, when one actually washed up on shore.
Right.
You
know, and
we don't know. There could be a civilization of advanced humanoids living underneath the fucking sea.
There could be a civilization of half humanoids, half fish people.
It could be what we're calling UFOs. They could be coming from the sea and not from outer space.
Maybe what we're seeing is them coming back.
There you go.
From exploring outer space.
There you go.
Maybe they're from Uranus.
Fudge Factory.
Local union number 2. Fudge Packer Union.
Or you could go. Is it an ancient humanoid civilization that was way more far advanced than what we are now? That mostly got destroyed by the Younger Dryas effect, and they left.
Could be.
And they're coming back to say, "Hey, what's going on in our planet now? It looks pretty inhabitable."
What?
But these current humanoids are fucking crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And they blasted each other with nuclear bombs. What the fuck? It's kind of weird how the whole UFO thing picked up after we bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Mm-hmm.
Did they go, whoa, 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 what are these fucking chimps doing?
Now, here's a thought. You could actually survive in an underwater home, if you will, a nuclear holocaust lasts.
Yeah, if we wiped out everything if they had the civilization underwater,
Yeah.
might affect the temperatures of the sea around them a little bit. And if they were smart, they wouldn't be in the North Atlantic.
Right.
That would turn into a fucking glacier. They'd probably be out in the middle of the Pacific, south of the equator somewhere.
Pacific seems to be getting bigger and bigger as it is.
Yep.
You know,
they're just going, yeah, we'll wait till they kill each other, then we'll go up top and take it over. Shit, we gotta grow our legs back instead of our fins.
We'll give it a couple of 100 years for the nuclear fallout to settle down, and yeah.
Or they may actually have a deal just to go up and go and suck all the nuclear fallout out, and because they're that much further advanced.
Maybe so.
You know,
I mean, there's things that haven't been explained in this world yet.
right?
Stonehenge.
The Great Pyramids. The pyramids in all over Mexico, Honduras, Belize. How come they were so similar, and supposedly these people never met? There's tombs in Japan that the stone over the main tomb is almost identical to that stone in Egypt.
Here's another one. The Sphinx.
Right.
Because they have dated the Sphinx older than the pyramids.
Well, the initial timeline was the pyramids and the Sphinx and everything was built 6,000 years ago. Okay. Well, the Sphinx, they've discovered water erosion because they kept digging around it and they've discovered water erosion. Well, there wasn't water in that region of the world
6,000 years ago.
It was more like 11, 12,000 years ago.
What?
And if you look at the Sphinx, you look at the body and you look at the head is smaller, you know, what we look at is like, that don't look right. The head looks too small for that body.
Right.
Maybe 6,000 years ago, the Pharaoh said, no, we're taking that lion head off and I want my face on it. And how did they, in the pyramids, with the technology we figured they had 6,000 years ago, how did they move them stones? Because most of those stones were quarried in quarries over 500 miles away, and they weighed 150 tons, 200 tons.
Okay, here's another
through
one.
Mountains.
Easter Island.
There you go.
But I mean, it goes to think, and you've got to ask yourself, as a person that believes in a higher power, the Egyptians had their gods. Horus, Best,
Ra.
Anubis.
Right.
The Greeks had their gods. Zeus, Poseidon, Hades. And it's believed that one came before the other, or they were at the same time, because you had Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Or
I just read a deal the other day. Cleopatra was actually Greek descent.
in Egypt?
In Egypt.
That means that in the movie Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor,
It was so fucking hot, that movie.
that was more truthful than having an Egyptian person, an Egyptian descent person playing Cleopatra. And what was it? A couple hundred years ago, they finally realized that, or discovered Troy was a real place.
Yeah, it was the late 1800s they discovered Troy.
So now you've got to, okay, if they discovered Troy was a real place, does that mean that Achilles was real? And if Achilles was real, does that mean that the Greek and Roman gods were real?
Or were they just really smart people? Advanced. Leftovers
From Atlantis?
from the Younger Dryas impact that wiped out. Were they survivors? We check it out, Andrew?
Yep.
Okay. It's like you're talking Greek mythology. I'm going to bed. This is the first on J&M Solve the World.
We have a guest leaving.
He's here, Andrew. He's tapping out.
He's tapping out.
Tapping out.
I'm good. It's time for me to leave.
Tell all of our fans you love them.
To all fans, thank you.
to our
Time for me to go.
to our tens of listeners. They appreciate that. Andy is throwing up the X, as you would see any referee in wrestling when a real injury has happened.
Right.
They always throw up the X.
You know,
Come bring the gurney.
Yeah.
I don't
Camera
know.
off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time for me to go.
Well, be careful on your journey.
There's a gate out there.
I'm going to find a recliner.
Okay. Like I say, be careful on your journey. Don't step on any dogs or cats.
I don't intend to.
Okay.
If I do, I'm sorry.
Okay. Love you, Andrew.
Love you guys.
I'm gonna help him out here.
All right. So while we're talking here, we're just talking some shit about, we've kind of went off the mythical creatures. We're talking about aliens and all kinds of stuff like that. It's an interesting subject. You think about. I've listened to some guys on different podcasts, and it makes sense that if mankind has been around for, they're thinking now that humanoids such as us, not
Neanderthals.
Neanderthal and all that. But humanoids like us have been around for almost 40,000 years.
Yes.
Then we could have really become very far advanced. And then if you got meteorites hitting and destroys everything, because if something happens today, it just destroys the electrical grid.
Yeah.
We're fucked. I mean, without any meteorites hitting or volcanoes going off, if a solar flare knocked out the electrical grid or the entire world, we're fucked. We're going back to pioneer days in a hurry.
Think about this. What if an electromagnetic shock
Like a solar flare.
disrupted the electric grid for 30 seconds?
Oh.
30 seconds.
I read a deal where they were talking about the main reason we put that new telescope up was to keep an eye on the sun, because there was a solar flare back in the 1860s that, if it would have happened now, would have wiped out every electrical grid on the planet.
Interesting.
And it would have took over 2 decades to get it all back up and running again. But if they could see that this flare is coming, he's right down here.
There you are.
If they could see that this flare was coming, they could shut down the electrical grid. The flare would happen, and it wouldn't hurt anything. Then they could just turn everything back on.
If they could get...
First time on camera. You've heard him many times. This is Sully.
You fat cat.
Say hi, Sully. Say hi, Sully. Was that all we're going to get out of you? Okay.
Well, with the addition of Sulliver
Sully's replaced Andrew.
Yeah, Sully the fat cat, I would like to say thank you for watching. Check us out on... if you're watching us on YouTube, check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast or Amazon Music Podcast, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio Podcast.
Procrastinations.
Yeah. Of course, Spotify. And make sure you give us a good rating. Leave us a comment in the comment section. Share us with your friends. Let everybody know what you like, what you don't like. Leave us, give us a subject. And we will do our best to answer all comments
Give us
and
a
requests.
subject, and if we have to, we'll do some research.
And if not, we'll wing it.
We'll just bullshit our way through.
Exactly.
Kind of like we do normally.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we may start on a subject and then veer off and maybe come back. But either way about
I
it.
think Halloween was the one we stuck to the best.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But
Shout out to Sherry if you're still watching this.
that'd be super if you were. But you've just watched another episode of S2E5 Productions Presents.
JDM, solve the world. I have been James.
And I've been Matt. And until next time, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace out.